We're faced with this destructive juggernaut, and there's a growing sense that time is running short with global warming, corporate control of our government and other governments. And I wonder if you believe that nonviolence is capable, a nonviolent approach is capable of saving the day, or do we need to expand our strategies to encompass other tactics?
Well, now we're back to Confucius. If a nonviolent approach is not capable of doing it, we might as well kiss each other goodbye, because there's no question that a violent approach won't work. In fact, a violent approach violence is exactly what systems of power want. You're moving to the arena where they dominate. I mean, I remember debating this with kids in the 60s who were going out to demonstrations and wanted to wear helmets because the police are going to attack. And what I argued, and I think is correct, is that you shouldn't. I mean, if you wear a helmet, they're going to come back with assault rifles. And if you have an assault rifle, they're going to come back with tanks. And if you have tanks, they'll come back with nuclear weapons. I mean, force is their strength. The only strength we have is nonviolence. And it works. In fact, if you take a look at Iraq, it's quite a striking example. Nobody looks at it this way, but think about it. The United States was defeated in Iraq. It was. It had to abandon its war aims. And if you look at the record, step by step, the United States had to back down. It had to permit elections, which it tried to bar in all sorts of ways. It tried to control the outcome. It couldn't. As late as January 2008, that late, George Bush announced that he finally announced the war. By the end, they were announcing the war aims explicitly. No more fooling around about democracy and so on. They said we must have a settlement in which the United States has freedom to carry out combat operations indefinitely in Iraq, and any settlement must privilege U.S. corporations for investment, meaning in oil. That was January 2008. Had to back down on that. The Forces Agreement, at least formally, they backed down on it. Obama's at least formally living up to the Bush agreements. Every step of the way, the Iraqi victory was based on nonviolence. The insurgents were never a problem. The U.S. can kill insurgents easily, no matter how many there are, for the same reason I mentioned. So that's okay. That's the comparative advantage of a powerful state. But they could not deal with 500,000 people in the streets, called out by Ayatollah Sistani and so on. So step by step they had to back down. It ended up with a U.S. defeat, which is quite unusual. A state this powerful fighting a non-existent country is almost never defeated, but it was in this case. And it's not the only case. I mean, if you look at the achievements and there are a lot of achievements of the past, even the past generation, civil rights movement, women's rights, anti-war movement, a lot of things have happened, all nonviolently. That's the only domain in which the population can hope to prevail. So going back to your question, if nonviolence doesn't work, well, like I said, kiss each other goodbye.